congratulations on the show. Fascinating story. What are the complexities that you find with playing like real life people, as
Mm.
opposed to playing characters, just fictional characters? I'll start with you, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's an immense amount of pressure that comes with that. I think, I think we both played real people before, but this one just felt completely different. It's just so intense, and the story is so expansive. Really, for me, it was about just capturing the essence of who Paul might have been, and crafting, our version. There's so much resource to pull from, that it's kind of insane. It's a story you can't really believe. Yeah, what
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there's definitely that pressure when it's a real person, but there's also, you know, so much to pull from in terms of references and documentation about this family. And we had this amazing research team that, gave us so much material and, photos that I don't think a lot of people have seen and
Hmm.
stuff like that from early on in their lives that was really informative as to, the kind of culture that they grew up in. And, then there also comes a point where we kind of gotta shake some of that off and take as much as you can, but then just realize that we're the guys for this version of the story. And so, bring yourself to it. And that we really everyone on set took it very seriously. It's a fresh story. These events were really tragic and people are still reeling from them. So we wanted to do it justice.
Yeah, I have to admit that I am very much familiar with the story because I got, like everyone else, I was really hooked on this crime podcast. Actually, there were several podcasts
Hmm.
about this story that really went deep into what happened because it is literally like unbelievable what happens. This family get like it's incredible. You couldn't write a screenplay like this. Were you
Yeah.
guys were you guys familiar with it before you read the screenplay?
I mean, I was familiar with the case, and you hear about it, and then you see something, and then you do a little deep dive, and then a spiral. So yeah, and then you come onto this production, and they had so much more information that like I had no idea about, which was really just mind blowing.
Yeah, I wasn't too familiar with the case, but it was really interesting to simultaneously get a lot of that information as I was reading the scripts
Mm.
and also kind of doing research at the same time. And I think it really provides so much context. There's a way that these stories can get sensationalized and, reduced to timelines and events and to kind of view it on a more human level really kind of just it makes it more impactful, I think, and that's what this show does really well.
Let's talk about your characters. They are brothers, but very, very different people.
Yeah.
What could you tell us about Paul, for example?
Yeah, I mean, Paul's the youngest son in the Murdaugh family. That holds a lot of pressure and a lot of weight. I think with us, we were trying to tell the story of someone who was raised without consequence too.
Yeah.
So we were looking at like how that manifests, and with the partying and his rebellion, but also trying to find that opposite side of that, and then the whole dynamic with his brother. I mean, like he's up against the golden boy essentially in our version of the story. So that was really fun to explore and find those complexities and nuances with him.
Mm. Well, can I ask you about Buster? What kind of person do you think he is?
We talked a lot about just the differences that they have in coping with kind of the same immense amount of pressure from this really powerful family to carry out this legacy and the different ways that they each kind of either go with it or rebel against it. Because I don't think it is, it's easy to kind of view it as uh, you rebel and
Mm-hmm.
he goes with the flow. But there are ways that you know, take up the mantle, whether,
Oh
you're
yeah,
more
absolutely.
into the hunting. So, you know what I mean?
Right. I
All
think
these
they're all
things, there's
going
like
through a lot of the same things, and
yeah,
it manifests in different ways, and they latch on to different ways to approach and try to appease their parents and,
yeah, yeah,
show face. And that was really exciting, especially the way that the characters were written in our story.
yeah.
There's a fantastic cast here. Obviously, you're working with Patricia and Jason. What was it like working with these guys and who've been in the business for such a long time? What was it like working with them day in, day out?
A dream. I mean, I don't know. It was just so surreal. Because you see these legends and then you meet them, you don't know what to expect. And luckily, they were the most incredible leaders on a set like this, especially a set like this. I feel like it could have gone wrong so many ways if it
Hmm.
wasn't them. They just understood the assignment and not only cared for what they were bringing, but also what we wanted to bring too, which was amazing.
Hmm.
They were just, yeah,
Yeah, they're incredible. And they're so generous and
yeah,
kind and, down to stuff like, the camera turns around and their performance is completely turned on and different for your coverage because they understand the medium as well. And they know that, it's time to get this side of the scene and what can they get out of you and how can they needle you. And,
hmm
Jason was always keeping us on our toes
oh
and
yeah,
running improvs in the in between. He was really
yeah,
kind of locked into that character. And it was so fun. They were like,
just
it
made
was
us
just,
like
yeah,
step up,
yeah, they
you know.
totally raised the bar.
And since these are real life characters, did you end up feeling any amount of sympathy for each other's character whilst you knew what happened in real life? Because it is so recent, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think as an actor, I feel like you want to find sympathy, empathy for your character no matter what you're playing, and then you add this other layer of context. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think it's really easy, like when we watch a story like this unfold, we go, okay, that's the villain, that's the victim, but that's not life is not black and white in that way, and so we really wanted to make two things true at once, especially with I know personally with Paul, but there was an immense amount of I don't know, just like yeah, empathy, but also care that was put into just bringing these
Yeah.
people into this characterization, into this story. A lot of sensitivity too.
Yeah, people really knew that it was an important thing to tackle. And it's also, you don't want to excuse any behavior, but you do, you just have to accept that you have to come at it from a point of understanding. And there was, you know, I have a lot of empathy for all of these characters, and I think everyone who played any of them does by the end of it. And then it's very interesting with such a, salacious, widespread story. It's even now sometimes hard to hear the way people can talk about it because you
Yeah.
feel really close and you
Mm.
feel like you understand a part of what it might have felt like that maybe other people don't. But yeah, we took a lot of care with that.
Fantastic. Thanks again, and congratulations on two really fantastic performances from you both. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!